Cliff,
you ready, buddy?
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah,
Jesus.
I just said I was.
Can you hear?
Can you hear Ty?
yo.
Yeah, I responded to him. Can y'all hear me?
After like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll ask something and then you
The
won't.
fuck?
You won't say something for like a few seconds.
And then everyone else you respond to immediately. Are you just tuning Ty out?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Ty, ask me a question.
Did you play in a pre-release yesterday?
No.
No. Jacob, keep your shirt on. No.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Big Deck Energy. We're going to be going over some of the bright lights that came out because we had our pre-release this weekend. We're going to break down some of the cards inside the set, which ones were good and sealed, which ones weren't, and kind of go over some of the mechanics that happened. But always join with me is Bailey Hilton, Tyler Barrett, Ben Clifford, and I'm Josh Lucian. And let's get into episode 9 of Big Deck Energy.
Let's do it.
Yo.
How's your guys' event? All right, let's break that down first. How'd it go for you guys?
I went 3-1 and placed third. I played Max. There was a ton of Maxes.
How many were there?
I don't know. I think you were like the only dash I saw. I think there was one other dash.
That's kind of like I was browsing the Fab subreddit this morning, and that seems to be like a lot of people's pre-release experience. They're like, there's like 6, 7, 8, 9 maxes and like one dash and like 2 tech Levasans and
Yeah, Max just seemed like an easy pick. Kind of the safe pick, almost maybe the 5 of the format, because I felt like not a lot of items were really drawing me towards them to play, and they don't block. And I've been a big, I don't know. I've been behind the idea that items are kind of a trap in this whole new mech world that we're living in now, or at least you just can't play too many of them. I played, I think, 2 non-blocking cards in my deck.
Only 2?
Yeah. One being Hyperdriver. I actually was like that was like on the chopping block when I was making cuts. And then I ended up keeping it because a different card cared about getting rid of one in your banish zone in case I were to boost it or something. It would like give some small advantage. I forget the card. But I ended up realizing that Max just gives Hyperdrivers crank, including the ones you play from hand. Mm-hmm. So like in the turn I realized, oh wow, I can play this Hyperdriver I have in hand and actually give the thing go again. And it enters with more steam counters than the one that Max actually makes.
yeah.
Because the one that he makes is a yellow, right?
Well, right, it would enter with 2, and if you crank it, it just gives you the 1.
Yeah.
And then so I was able to like play the Hyperdriver, crank it, put 2, starts with 2 counters, and then play like a boom grenade afterwards, just pass the turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was like the strongest start
Yeah.
of the day. I drew both my items
Right away on the first turn.
Yeah.
Do Hyperdrivers go to the graveyard like as soon as they lose their last steam counter? Or do they check at the start of turn? I've never actually like played them.
They check at the start of turn.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So then
Right.
even like the tokens, like you still could get like some advantage of getting like a steam counter back on with Max's wrench.
I would assume that the steam counters are checked right at the
Cliff, do you know?
beginning of the turn.
I'm gonna double check it. When it has no steam counters, destroy it.
Oh, it's just immediate. Okay.
Okay.
I also realized Hyperdriver is not a you may, so I was learning a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
You have to
Yep.
you have to get the 1 when you boost, so you can't save them and bank them up for a big turn or something.
Yep.
No, it was a good day, I guess. Like I was probably more I had more fun than I thought I would, or I enjoyed the set more than I thought I would, I guess I'll say. I still don't know how I feel about the 1 class set. definitely we have different archetypes in it, though. You can definitely see there's different ways to play the mech in this set, which I think is cool. So it kind of, while all of them are the same class, they do feel different.
Yep.
The heroes feel different. Max just feels kind of more streamlined, more, like I said, kind of the 5 of the format, maybe. I don't want to say his abilities like generic. It is kind of generic. It's pretty easy and clear to know what to do with him, but it's like maybe the more basic design of the 3 heroes. Safer bet. Like I said, I had all 3 blocks in my deck for the most part, and two items. Did pretty well. But yeah, went 3-1, lost to Carter on a pretty close one.
And Carter was on
Also
Max
on
as well.
Max?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Max. Yep. He played more like Evos, I think, and stuff, and he did play more items than me as well.
Did you have like a whole lot of Evos in your pool, or okay?
No, I honestly I wasn't going to really play with those. I don't think if I were to have a bunch of Evos. Anyways, so I wasn't really leaning towards Teklevasen or Dash in the first place. What about you, Josh?
I actually did not get to play in the pre-release.
I know.
Very sadly.
I know.
I had to go to a friend's first birthday party. It was their kid's first birthday party, so we were all there for that, enjoying some walking tacos. But I did end up getting some packs because I was able to show up, and then I just dropped.
Yeah.
Because you can't miss out on the packs. You got to support the shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I ripped nothing.
Yeah, I saw you kept them in the Crack Shuffle play decks.
Yeah, so I wanted to make these packs that I got with Crack Shuffle play and kind of just break down seeing what the Crack Shuffle play actually looks like with
Yeah.
3 packs.
Mhm.
And,
Did you notice anything in between the two? Because I was looking when you were up there, and one of them is severely better than the other.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
way
way
better.
better. Yeah, I know. I know. I
that
was looking
format-
at it last night.
that format could be a little wonky.
Yeah, so I don't know how that will draw more players into the game potentially, but we'll see. And especially with getting certain types of evos in these Crack Shuffle plays, and you have to get the proto to play it.
Well,
Kind
so
of tough.
So Crack Shuffle play is like a limited format, though, right? So you at least get the bare bones base equipment.
Yeah, I mean you can rip a couple in your packs, and out of the 3 packs that I ripped here, one of them has, I think it was 5 different pieces of proto, and the other one only has 2.
wow.
But they're tokens, right? So
Wow.
That's a good question. I would assume you actually just play with the ones you open.
Just because you're not
Oh, wait,
carrying
how
around
would that
your
work? How would that
proto
work for
bases.
heroes, though?
I pulled two dashes and a Teklo out of one, and then a Max,
No,
a dash.
I bet you're right, Bailey. Where you just
Start
play
with them.
with the tokens. Yeah, that would make more sense
Yeah.
to me. I think.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
so what if you just don't open your hero's weapon then?
That's what I mean. Or just open the hero.
Yeah.
Say you want to play Max, you don't open Max. It doesn't seem right for the format to be like, no, you don't get to play Max because
Yeah.
you didn't open the token. So I'm guessing you start with the proto base and the proto, or any hero and
Yeah.
weapon you want.
I mean, their goal was to be able to just crack 3 packs and be able to play.
It sound like I'm not dogging the format yet. We haven't even played it. It just going through those 2 decks, you could really tell one of them was just on a
Way stronger,
way lower
yeah.
tier than the other one. And I think that's just part of maybe that format. Like you have to get lucky. You have to.
True.
There's a bit of luck with it, and then also it's just I think it's meant for just jamming quick games. If you have sealed product that you're opening with your buddies, this
Yep.
is just a different way to utilize that sealed product and enjoy it really,
Yeah.
rather than just opening and
Especially
throwing
it
all the
not being
bulk away.
a sanctioned event, and you can actually use your cold foil equipment that you get for those.
Yeah.
I would never say you can't, but for the fact that it's draft and they don't let you use the cold files because it's in a token slot. But
Yeah. I actually I get the feels bad of, let's say you open a cold foil legendary.
yep,
You're in a limited event and you're like, oh, what do you mean I can't play with this card?
Mm-hmm.
It does feel bad. I've actually never experienced that,
Neither
but
have
I can definitely relate how that would feel bad. But on the other side of that though is there are times where you open a pack and there's like a really playable majestic and maybe a legendary, and then you're forced to like play or pick the legendary for profits, and then rather than the playable card, and now with this like them being in the token slot, you still get the valuable card while being able to pick the playable card, which is I just think a better design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know like they said if you pulled like a Tunic 2 or whatever, like or anything from the expansion slot, you can't use it in the set or
Yeah.
in the
Which is
That's
kind of a feel
good
bad
thing.
well, yeah, but I just think for the purposes of drafting and being able to still keep, if you pull a very high value card, you're able to keep it, and then that doesn't
True.
affect your pool. You're able
True.
to still pick a playable. I just think that's the most important part there about that rule or that like change that they did. Because
Yes.
beforehand it was not like that. If you pulled a cold foil and let's God forbid, let's say you pulled a cold foil Fable.
Yeah.
And you have a right yeah.
I mean, Bailey's done it a few times.
No, I know. Yeah.
So it's like a feel bad, he was saying, right?
Yeah, you don't get to play it. Like,
Well, I'm saying you would pick it in the old, the
Yeah,
way they
the
used to do, no
old-
matter
the way
what.
they used to
and then,
do
and then now you don't
packs,
have
yeah.
like a card for your actual deck to play.
Yep.
For the most part.
I had a Uprising draft where the guy at the corner of the table ripped a rainbow foil Fable, so he was able to use it. The guy next to me ripped a cold foil Crown of Providence and couldn't use it.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
in draft like
it's-
that, you want to
It's
see
weird,
that.
man. It's weird, but I do still kind of stand behind that.
I mean, I do too, just because you can get the high value,
Yeah.
and it helps with that. But
Hey, Cliff, what did you do in Fab this week? Did you play any pre-releases, Mr. Mech player?
No, I couldn't end up going to any pre-releases because of how my work schedule is. There's one today at 3 that I'm not going to get to either, which is quite unfortunate.
That's too bad.
However,
just
get
call
some
in,
games
man.
in
This
with
is like
Wes.
your fucking set. Just
I
be,
know.
hey, sorry, something came up. It's an emergency.
I
This
can't.
is your set.
Everyone at the shop was like, dude,
I
it'd be so
can't.
nice if Cliff would have came down.
Yeah, everyone missed you,
I
man.
know. I did
He's
get a
making it
couple
feel so
games
bad.
in with Wes as per the usual.
is
Yeah.
Wes
And,
going to the event?
I don't think Wes went to either of them either.
So you guys got a couple
But,
games in though.
Yeah. Made some changes in Riptide, and it felt really good.
Yeah, would you
It felt a
switch
lot
around in
stronger from
there?
what I'd had the deck before. I finagled the buffs a little bit I had in there. I ended up taking out one of my Fletch with the Red Tails and one of the Dead Eyes to throw in just two of the, I think it was the Laced with Frailties that I threw in. Or no, it was the Laced with Inertias. I'm probably going to throw in the other Laced with Frailties, though. And
Yeah, you
then
need those.
Yeah,
I
are you not
took
running
out-
3 of them?
Yeah, you got to.
No.
What?
Yeah,
Well, if he's just fucking around at the locals, it's different. But if you're
Yeah.
going to like if you're trying to optimize the deck to its fullest potential, those frailties are so like strong until Lexi leaves. Once Lexi leaves
Oh.
that card, you probably just cut that card.
Ben Kellen was
that's
talking
kind
to
of
you
what I'm
too
thinking.
this weekend, or talking about you this weekend too. He's got a foil
boy.
Moon's Wish for you.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, we might have some things to discuss then. But I also threw in some just go again arrows. I threw in 3 red falcon wings, and is it the Sickum shot that's 4 with go again? One
Yeah,
shot?
were you not running
Yeah.
Falcon Wings before?
That's my Warmonger's tech.
I was,
I
and
don't
then
know
I
how
took
good it's
them
working
out.
yet, but
And it was just, I don't know. At first, they
Falcon
didn't
Wing is
seem
like
that
one of the
great.
best arrows to come out of like outsiders, in my opinion.
yeah.
At first,
Just
in
the just
Riptide,
base
though,
go
I
again
didn't
arrow.
think it was
I wish it
great.
would be 4 though.
It's
Why can't that card be 4?
slightly worse.
No, Scar for Scar is the
Bolton
fucking
shot.
same thing, and it's conditional go again. The condition for the arrow is shooting from Arsenal.
Yep.
Like, you could easily make that 4 for... And then, or if it's 4, make it block for 2 or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, change the block on it to make it a 4 cost. The only
True.
reason I don't like playing that card is it is almost always just, like, an easy 3 block for them. And
Yeah.
if it, if you don't pump it up or
Well,
whatever.
that's why you pump it once.
Yeah, no, I know.
Send that
I know.
one out.
You're right. The go again on it's nice. Like we didn't have any other arrows other than Sikkim shot. I think with the go again. So Falcon Wing was like really cool when it came out. But
Yeah, usually it's just good at
Yeah.
like baiting out blocks from hand, at least in my experience on Azalea, before you shoot off your big dominate arrow.
Yeah, I feel like you'd rather value that more than, shooting a second arrow with Falcon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey, how was your pre-release? What was your record yesterday, and how did it go? Who'd you play?
I don't want to talk about it.
Next question.
I went 1 and 2, and the 1 was thanks to my buy that was allocated, which was cool. I was on Dash, which is arguably a mistake. Like my card pool was definitely pretty nice for Max. I just really wanted to play Dash. Nothing to do with looking at the top card of my library whenever I wanted.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with that.
Having 18 health sucks for her, especially in like a limited format where Max is just everywhere. Like being 2 health down right off the rip just felt bad most of the time. But like I still like just playing her. I don't think her ability is so strong that they needed to balance her by removing 2 health. I think she could have started with 20.
Yeah. I mean, she's got that. I feel like she's definitely got kind of a slower gameplay, and she's just doing things at instant speed, but she's kind of a setup hero, I feel like, as well as
And the
I'm
items
sure I agree
the
with
items
that
cost
one,
you
boys.
more
Yeah.
when you use her ability.
And it's a feel bad when you do it on your opponent's turn because you have to pitch a card to pay for it.
Yeah,
And
so you're like
a
losing
card
out on
that-
a
yeah,
block there.
Yeah. Completely.
Unless you pitch an item.
Yeah,
but-
which then you could, but at that point, why wouldn't you just block for your life? I mean, you're already down 2 life, so you're sitting there
Yeah.
blocking half the time.
Yeah, we had a player from the cities come drive down to our shop yesterday to play in our pre-release, and he's he's played in the RTNs and the ProQuest and stuff over the years, and he's always on Dash or Katsu for the most part. And I was talking to him a little bit about the new mechs and stuff, and if he was excited for any of the new cards or new styles to play, and he said he's probably just gonna play old Dash still, like
Yeah.
the 40 health, and
I feel like old Dash is still better than.
I think if you're playing new Dash, you're just playing like Tree Frog, honestly. You're playing the crazy item, weird Tree Frog Dash deck that just wants to block and
with the new like mini force field and stuff like that.
everyone.
Because then you could do it on opponent's turn if you see those.
Yeah,
Because then you're
I think-
valuing
I think
the
if you
resource.
if you build Dash database properly and you actually build it to be like the true Tree Frog item block deck, you can fatigue decks like Lexi pretty easily.
Because then you could just run like your boom grenades and set up like if you're able to get a big turn.
No, you don't
I
even
don't
run
think
those.
you run, like, the
No,
boom
You don't even
grenades in
attack,
that,
dude.
yeah.
Like you just maybe attack with your pistol, maybe in that game. You literally just fatigue people with the deck, and it works.
I mean,
You're able
not
to run
wrong.
more than 60, and like you can have every D react in the game, plus unmovables, plus all your items, and you're just steam countering up your pistol and pew pew pew.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's the only time you're probably attacking. You don't even have a card with boost in the deck, I would assume. This is all just kind of like going off the first initial takes on the card.
Yeah. What about you, Cliff? Like when it comes to constructed, you think you're gonna pick up any of the new mechs? Or you just kind of gonna settle with old Dash and keep doing what you've been doing?
Yeah, so this was kind of touched a bit on our last episode, but essentially Max is doing exactly what my current Dash list is doing. Utilizing hyperdrivers to, keep that discount for my attacks coming in the chain. Trying to set up for those big maximum velocity turns. I think that based on what I've seen, Dash IO was put in a tough situation as this set really feels geared around Teklevasen and Max.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Max because, like I said, he is doing exactly what my list is trying to do already. So why would I not bounce onto the new boost hero and try to see if I can break that deck?
Yeah. So he's already just kind of doing like your game plan, but better essentially.
Yeah. it does suck that I'm not going to have Technical or Sparky Genius. Sparky Genius has pulled my ass out of the fire more times than I can count. Same thing with Technical.
Dude, that card is, I still think that card is like insanely powerful.
Sparky Genius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I've said it a few times on the pod before, but every time someone plays against me, it just feels so gross how they get to set up two, like basically 2 cards of value where they get the item plus the arsenal. Like a lot of times they're just paying 0 for it. They go get their Tekla core, draw a card.
Yep.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
For 0?
Yeah.
It feels a bit Codex of Frailty like
itself.
honestly. Yeah,
then,
it does. It feels like a Codex sort of. Get this card of value out of nowhere with it, plus an extra card on it, so it replaces itself, like you said. It's that card is like Mech's Codex, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the new Dash can play it, but I mean,
Is it? Is
it's
it just,
only
is it
Spark-
a special?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a dash
specialization.
specialization.
That's why I get to play it in Shayana.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I would play that. I would play that as my second Teklo.
What items do
Yeah,
you go?
blocks. It's
What
just
items
wonderful.
do you
Yeah,
go
blocks.
find in Shayana with it?
Teklo.
Oh, because that's also a specialization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 1 Teklo in it, and then one Spark of
For the
Genius
one combo.
for like
2
I had
resource
2
turn.
Teklos, and then it was just too many times where like I would draw the second one and or just like I felt like the 3 block on the second, because like the second one is always still a Teklo. Or if I draw Spark, I can go get the Teklo, right?
Yep.
Unless I had already played one. But I only usually play one anyways. I'm never like playing 2 in a game. So I figured like Spark of Genius being a 3 block while also letting me go get Teklo anytime, counting as the second Teklo sort of in the deck, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I think I ended up like cutting both of those cards eventually, anyways, because
it's a
There's
great
been a
combo.
lot of specializations that have come out since then.
No, I know. I think I like.
It's a great
Put a bunch
combo for Shayana, but I'm glad that it's also a dash specialization because that combo inside Max Nitro would be really good. And
Spark?
yeah.
Yeah.
Spark.
Yeah.
Well, Spark and Teklo core be nuts.
Yeah, it would.
But
Yeah, I think in terms of design, who do you guys think will be the one out of these 3 to kind of like hit the meta, in
Max.
the best way?
the hype.
Nitro.
I honestly think both Teklevasen and Max both are going to have a decent spot in the meta right out of the gates. And I think that their position is just going to become better as time goes on and people figure out what the deck's do's and do nots are.
Yeah.
Because Teklevasen just seems to have a really good card pool in this set. He's got a lot of the breakpoint cards that you want to see in your fatigue decks that take it slower, which is going to enable him to take that time in order to play out his evos to get to the singularity. So I think he's going to be a really good fatigue deck out the gate. And I really think Max is going to be a good aggro deck. But I do think we're going to see a resurgence of Phi after Lexi goes. So we'll have to see how Max and Phi go into each other. I imagine that I'll be able to bring some insight on that pretty shortly.
Yeah. It's going to be a scary format when
You
Lexi and Icelander leave.
you getting a case of bright lights?
I will be in the next couple of days here.
Attaboy.
It's wild how they reprinted Tekla Foundry Heart, but it does make sense.
I like that reprint. It's non-foil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
has
is
to be.
non-foil.
Has
Yeah,
to be.
it'll be like a $20 or $30 card probably.
Posers. I
Did you
have
see
the
Tunics?
shiny.
Did you see the Did you see the non-foil Tunics are like $120 now?
Yeah.
Even the crew.
They got
mix?
flooded. Yeah.
I'm not sure about Crew. That's like first edition product. That's
Well,
probably
first edition
still-
crew is still 300. The
The
unlimited
non-foil
crew non-foil is
Yeah, first ed crew was still non-foil, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The one from
so looking at it right now. Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. So the rainbow foil is down to 150.
holy shit, that is great.
The,
I mean, like, okay, like
the Crucible of War first edition is down to 230. The Crucible of War Unlimited 130. History pack still at 130. Even though the market
so what
is
are we
at
doing with
180.
the extended slot? What are we looking at for that? If
They haven't shown it yet on
okay,
this,
they're-
but
those are going to be less than those then.
I think it's going to be like 120. I was talking to Wes
Probably.
about that earlier. Like I
Oh,
was
dude,
watching,
That's so awesome, man.
I was watching Master Sets break a box, and then I watched somebody else break a box, and they both ripped a legendary tunic out of their boxes, and then the Master Set channel last pack ripped the Fable out of his box
Nice.
as well. So
I actually think that is awesome for the game to see a card like Tunic come down
Yes.
to like a more manageable price like that. Yeah,
it's
how,
hard.
How awesome!
It's
I
not-
had no idea they.
it's not changing the market for the cold foils in any way, shape, or form. Those are still obviously going to be
No.
expensive, but
No, any reprint like that never will though.
I think it's good that they're getting the reprint lower because that helps get players into the game. Because
That's
it's been such a controversial thing about Tunic being so expensive. Blah,
I think
blah,
the
blah.
game in general, people, you shoot this game to them, or you try to convince someone to start this game, and one of the main drawbacks when someone tries to start is the price point. You
Yeah.
know, building a deck can be
Spendy.
$600 to $800 to $1,000 if you're, you know what I mean, buying
Cold foiled
all
out
best
old
in
him.
slot.
Yeah.
Well, not even cold foil. If you're buying best in slot, like at some points, like I remember when Oldhim was meta
Yeah.
and stuff. And the deck, or was it Starvo? It might have been Starvo. The deck was almost $1,000 though.
Yeah.
If you want like Crown of Seeds and the Rampart and all those, those cards were $200-300
I'll stick my
or
thumbs up to that one. I had everything cold foil pretty much.
Rampart for a while there. Rampart, the unlimited was 180 back in the day,
Yeah,
and the
easily.
cold foil was like 250.
Yeah.
Each piece was easily around 2. So right there, you're looking at 400 to 500 in 2 cards. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try selling that to a player that plays Magic and is a franchise Magic player, or even a new card, like someone new to card games.
Just
like,
sell your modern deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Just sell that
I-
shit ass Magic deck.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. I still have all like 15 of my modern decks and my legacy deck and stuff. I sold.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't sell any of my decks when I sold out of the game. Something in me couldn't like. I
Just in
was
case you
I
wanted
was
to
a
go
huge
play.
modern player, right? Like I kind of came up in the game, not to go on a Magic tangent, but I mean Magic is kind of, it will always be here in terms of just the card world. A lot of card players started in Magic, and I was just one of them. But I sold out of the game when I found Fab in terms like my bulk, all my bulk uncommons, my bulk commons, my bulk rares. Even I have like a couple 5Ks of just rares, all sorted by color. Oh yeah, dude! From over the years of me collecting since I was 10, 12,
True.
I went into a card shop and I walked out with like $5,000, I think. So I had almost a $10,000 collection. Well, no, I walked out with like almost $4,000 worth of stuff. Plus I got a Volcanic Island from him that was like so clean. The card was so clean. He
Had to get it.
I had to. Well, so
What's
like
that?
I
Is it
now
like
have.
a beta volcanic? Or not beta.
It was
unlimited.
I think it's an unlimited Volcanic
Nice.
Island. I had to do it because my legacy deck, I do that with quotation fingers because I have Shocklands in it for the Volcanic Islands. Now I have 1 Volcanic Island in it and 2 Shocklands, so it's still a legacy deck.
Yep.
But I didn't sell out of my modern decks just for the simple fact that like I'll always have them. If
Yeah.
I ever want to get back into the game, I'm able to. I don't.
Yeah.
Although all that bulk, I was able to flip into Fab, and that kind of is what started my collection. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to have the collection I have now without doing that Magic.
Flip.
Yeah.
haul.
Absolutely.
I don't even know what got us here, but
That,
we were talking about the price of Fab decks and selling.
but- No, you're right.
Other card games.
If-
You look at Disney right now. You look at the price of Disney decks,
Expensive.
bro. They're 6 to 8, 6.
Yeah.
They're right around
They're
a Fab
expensive.
deck.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
What what is going on?
Because you're playing 4 of like
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's and some cards are $40 to
Yeah, I mean, what a
$50
play set of
piece.
Elsa will run you like $200.
Mhm. Play set of Rapunzel's $200.
$50 a pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cliff, what are your thoughts on the Lorcana prices right now?
Yeah, shit's fucked.
But I mean,
Good insight.
now with the new Fab, the legendaries are so much cheaper.
Yeah,
the,
I think
the
it's great
rainbow
for the game.
foils are cheap. The reprints are cheap. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't, because it would only cost you like $100 to build a decently fleshed out deck with just the rainbow foils.
Yeah.
Because the core cards are majority common and rare, and obviously you got your Majestics that probably fill up 20 slots.
Yeah,
That's not spendy.
yeah. I think this set is going to be good for new players with the Teklo Foundry Heart 2 getting a reprint. That's good. Non-foil. That's an easy legendary to pick up. It's going to be a mainstay for that deck,
The price went up so much on those.
Went up
They did.
before
To,
the
like,
set.
yes,
Yeah,
right
before
before the
this.
set, and then they got revealed, and I think they just slowly went
Oh,
down
of
a little
course.
bit more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of course.
I think it's good that they did do the reprint though, just for people that don't want to do the Evo build.
Mhm.
In like if you get the Hyper X3, the common or the legendary head, but that'll help a lot. I think.
Yeah, we have a new-
adaptive plating's weird.
We have a new player that just kind of played his first tournament last 2 weekends ago. Sam.
Yep.
I think we started him with a 5 blitz deck. I think even giving him another option with like a max deck or
Yeah.
something would be just a easy way for him to understand the game and get into it, because I do think it's, mechs for the most part are like a good way of teaching the game.
Yeah. It, especially with the new build points that we were talking about and which ones we think will be good in the meta, but it's cool that they have a different build for each type of mechanologist. So you can go for a different like class inside of a class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you guys were putting things together yesterday, were there any cards that like stood out to you from even just like your pool or like the set, like as
I was like, to be honest, some of the zero cost evos, I mean, they're kind of easier to play than obviously easier to play than I thought. I was looking at a lot of the times like the higher cost evos when I was thinking how like they would be challenging to play and utilize, but it was like there were some turns where you would, because I think I had a 2 cost red evo and like a 0 cost yellow evo in my deck, and there were turns where I would like block out, play a 0 cost evo, kind of beef myself up for later, draw up, like, and it felt like a clean turn.
It's very different seeing that in Flesh and Blood because you typically
The
start
armor
out your strongest. You don't build towards becoming stronger
I know,
over a game.
and I actually think that we could kind of circle back to who we think is going to be best. I know Cliff answered that. I don't think we did. I think Teklo Vossen is going to be sneaky good. I think the playing Evils from Banish, if you build your deck with enough boost where you're applying pressure, you're filling your Banish zone, you're just chain at that point.
So the other
Well,
mechanic...
think about it. Think about it. Let's say
is it a once per turn on the evos from banished?
you may play Evos from your Banish zone. So
you can just kind of stack them up and you're banished until
yeah, and like you get to play them at instant.
Here's the thing about them too is like you can even use them if you need to block early game, and you have that scrap card, and you scrap them right to your Banish zone, even though you block.
I didn't even think of that.
And then you can use his ability from Banish.
So you're getting
up
just
to,
a total like a bunch of value off
Yes.
of the one. Yeah.
like fatigue in that will be even better because then you can set up for like a 3 turn, have your singularity waiting, and then pop singularity.
I think that for the most part, I do think we're gonna have a lot of like defensive dash players with the new data or IO dash IO. I think players are going to try to bring that deck back. I have a feeling though that Teklo is going to be sneaky good. I don't know.
No, I agree.
yeah he
Playing
seems-
cards from Banish Zone is kind of crazy. Being able to fill up your Banish Zone late game, you were able to like have your choice of evos.
Yep. I think just the fact that they brought Scrap as a mechanic into the game, and with his ability, like that's all I was thinking about. Like as soon as I was reading some of the cards, breaking it down,
How well it works
what I
with him.
wanted. Yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even think we brought this up on the pod when we were going over them. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
an
just
idiot.
kind of glanced over the fact that scrap also hits equipment,
Yes.
and not just like item.
not just items. So
Yeah.
you can use them to block for extra value before to get them into your Banish.
Yeah.
Unless you want to use it to play it out on your turn after blocking, like you can. But
But
his
if you block, you're just getting extra value if you
Yeah.
block from hand at that point, right? Because like,
so the
I
real
mean, best
question,
case scenario, you block out with like one of the 3 block equipments. It goes to your yard. You scrap it, send it to your banish, and then
Yeah.
you can just equip it and block for another 3.
well,
Especially if it's one of like the temper pieces of equipment.
with Fabricate, that's the other thing that I was interested in. Like, if you drop Singularity and you have your hero out, can you Fabricate to bring in a Proto to send in a different Evo that you have in your deck?
I'm sorry, I don't even know if
I
Fabricate
don't know
does.
what Fabricate does.
So you can put Fabricate is the instant, the choose 2 mechanologist instant.
Oh, the
And you can equip a
like the
proto
mech
base head
Artifor.
from your inventory.
That's for your sideboard.
So you can pull more in once he's singularity and have even more equipment just to block with.
Yeah, so you probably keep one of each good piece in your sideboard to be able to have
Just-
your
yeah.
toolbox of armor.
You
to
could
be
pull
able
in.
to,
You could pull in your Teklo base
Whatever.
legs
Yeah,
just
whatever
for an
you
extra
need.
one block if you want to drop.
Well, I
on
think
top
you
of-
use it more of like what piece am I missing to complete the puzzle for the suit, and then that's why you keep one of each. So then you're always able to go get the one you need.
Yeah.
Let's say you have 3, you need the 4. You go get the fucking chest you need, or you go get
True.
the head you need. You know, you just keep one of each slot, kind of
True.
like in your inventory at all times. I think that like, while all these heroes look flashy and stuff, and they look fun. Part of me wants to almost think that like old Dash benefits still like the most from
Still the most.
yeah, it starts at 40. You know, if you really want to play Tree Frog Dash, she still probably can. Maybe the new database one does it a little better, but
Who knows?
starting at less life is definitely always a real thing, and having a ton of items in your deck doesn't help with that. So
No.
we'll see. I don't know. I think Teklo sneaky.
You
good.
really gonna make me build all 3 just to show
Yeah.
you the power?
I'm gonna have to, dude. I don't know if we're
It's
going
your
off
set.
of.
The
I
first
don't
thing
see
that
why you
came
wouldn't.
to the first thing that came to mind with like new Dash, you guys know the invincible meme. You know, look what they have
Yes,
to do to
yes.
mimic a fraction of
Yes,
our
I
power.
saw that.
Like it feels like they're kind of watered down. Like
I was gonna say.
Dash.
It feels a bit like Outsiders, or maybe it's just me just like having like recency bias with Outsiders, that like they gave us these new heroes and then like all this stuff, and then like just the old Rangers and stuff benefited for the most part from it.
Yeah.
True.
So I don't know. Max seems super generic, and if you're gonna be like a boost aggro deck, he's probably the choice. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like he just contends.
Matt,
as
you're like
a
max
5.
velocity turns.
Yeah.
like he's probably better
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that than Dash.
I think Cliff
You
kind of
hit the
touched
twin-
on that a
you hit
little
the
bit.
twin
like, it
drive.
just-
yeah, he's right.
You hit the
just-
twin drive card. where
It
you
does it
boost
so much
twice.
better than Dash.
Yeah.
What do you guys think though? Who's gonna be the best hero?
I suppose.
I
Yeah,
pick Old
Twin
Dash.
Drive. You boost.
That's my
boost.
pick. My pick is Old Dash.
My pick is Teklovasan.
Yeah.
I will say he's
There's
probably,
something there, I think.
feel like there's something super sneaky with him that you
Yeah.
can do and
There's
like
something there.
just block out the entire time while doing his turn, because a Fabricate does pump under your Evo, like under an equipment, so you can put that under there to attack more with his ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that if you have items with Crank, gain an action point, his attack doesn't say once per turn. You can attack with his attack multiple times
If
in
you
a
have
turn.
multiple action
Yeah.
points.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a kind of a toss up between Teklo and Max. Like they both seem pretty strong. I don't think you can fully count new Dash out of the equation, but she's definitely not the best one out of the 3.
I would say probably the weakest.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly though, we could be totally proven wrong, and she
We
comes
both-
out strong with the Tree Frog build and
Yeah.
just fatigues fucking everyone, and
That's-
we
I
have
think
another
At this
fatigue
point in
problem on our
time,
hand.
I would put her above Data Doll, but that's about it.
See, at this time, we can't really tell.
Cliff,
just
Cliff has
Whoa,
something to
whoa,
say
whoa,
about
whoa,
that.
whoa,
I knew he did. I knew he did.
Anyways, on that note, though, I do need to leave. I do have to work today.
All right.
All right, buddy. Yeah, we're
Unfortunately.
almost finished up here anyway, so it's not like you're gonna miss much of it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
as always, it was a pleasure, as my co-host Cliff there likes to say. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
See
all
you later,
right.
Bailey.
See ya, Bailey. So I was just gonna say
All
with
right,
like
now that the data doll hater's gone,
oh my goodness. As you're leaving, it calls you the data doll hater. I hate to say it.
I am. She's just not good. I hope it picks that up.
It should. So what I want to say about the new heroes is we don't know if Dash is going to be bad compared to the other two, just because of the fact that we've only seen them in limited.
Mm-hmm.
We only know how they play in limited right
Yep.
now. We've seen like people
Yeah,
have probably
we have
pre-tested.
We have one tournament worth of results right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like,
So
this
who
is all
knows?
definitely speculation.
Who knows?
And we are up to being wrong. I just think on first glance, she's probably the weakest.
Yeah.
Would be just my guess.
Max is definitely like the Phi of the meta
Of the
I think you
limited
made- yeah.
of the limited format, I
I think you made the right call on that one for sure. I think Dash is kind of like a Droma. You take, she's going to be a little bit to figure out in limited.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really see too many people playing Dromai because of the dragons. Like they thought that was the key. No.
Yeah,
you
but
would-
then when you would get the good dragons, it
That's
was
true.
like your deck was really cooking. So if you're passing on all the good items and one Dash database player in your pod is like taking all the
taking
items.
all the items.
Speaking of that, we're going to be doing a draft next weekend, I think, for our armory. So that'll be fun
I
to
should be able to make that
go
one.
over.
hopefully.
And will you?
My buddy
I'm,
Drew will be in town, so he
Does he
might make
play?
it down. Yeah.
Oh, does he?
so This time, I'm setting it in stone. I will be back this coming weekend.
You're lying. You're a liar.
You said that last time on the last episode. Then we got to the end of the episode, and you went,
Yeah, and then I got off at 11 o'clock on Friday night, and I was like, yeah, that's not the move. And went home and slept like a baby.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's valid.
That is fair.
Cliff, you said Max, right, to be the best one to come out of the set?
But that's more of just my personal opinion. I kind of agree that Teklevasson's probably just out the gates. He seems like he's going to have the strongest mechanism going for him. But I think Max has the highest ceiling.
Dude, just being able to push damage and go through his boost, like the fact that they printed twin.
Well, we've
drive-
got we've got multiple free sets of boost cards now,
That's true.
which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So your ability to have chains is going to be a bit insane. I'm hoping that Max gets some way to draw cards other than like Hyperdriver, or not Hyperdriver, High Octane. If that's not the case, so be it.
No, I mean, I don't think you really even need to draw cards. You're just a greedy card goblin, I think, Cliff.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Yeah, I think so.
So, Ty, after looking at some of the boost cards, since you played Max, what were some of the key cards that you saw in your limited deck that you played?
So I think the format feels very reminiscent of Outsiders in that it is more of like a mid-rangey, or it can be played like a mid-range format where you're blocking with 2-3 blocks a turn, and then you're attacking with your 2 to 3 card hand. And I kind of built my deck that way where like I said, I had the 2 items, the 2 cards that didn't block, and everything else my deck for the most part blocked for 3. There was a couple 2 blocks, but it seems like most of the cards in the set block for 3. So you're able to, like, each deck is pretty chunky, you know?
I think all the old Mechanologist cards blocked for 3, other than items, obviously. But I'm pretty sure Mechanologists are pretty chunky. They can eat damage.
It feels very close to the kind of, like I said, like with the Outsiders. With a lot of it is like a vanilla damage though in this set. You're kind of racing more. There's not all these crazy weird on hits and stuff. The items kind of can make weird, crazy things happen, which is kind of the fun of it.
I think they just wanted to. The fact that the on hits from like Tales of Aria were so powerful and like so detrimental to even like a game, and it can slow a game down so much more. I feel like they definitely toned back it a little bit with some on hits.
Well, I think too, like with the on hits, it's almost too easy to make a card good with you just slap any good on hit on it, and then now the card's like great. Like, so they have to be careful with on hits and not giving us like this crazy abundance of like good on hits. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay that there's vanilla damage, and I wasn't even like coming at it from like it was a bad experience. I enjoy those mid-range like incremental math games that you like eke out like value each turn cycle or try to. And
I feel like that was their goal with this set too, just with like the vanilla damage and giving things like +1. It just helps you understand break points for the new players coming into the game.
Yeah.
So they'll understand the breaking point and when they need to block and when they can't. And that really helps in a game. So I love that they went with that type of way building this set.
Yeah, it was a lot of times the turns were like attack with a boost card. Like on a 4 to 5 card hand, you'd attack with a boost, attack with a big 3 cost, like 6 or 7. That seemed to be kind of the common play pattern.
Kind of like a heavy artillery kind of
card. There was a ton of cards in the set that like were 3 costs, but like chunky 6 to 7 power. Some of them even had boosts. So if you really wanted to start your turn off with a big card, you could like boost what was it, Gas Guzzler, I think.
Yes.
It's a 6 power boost for 3. But a lot of my turns anytime I would see that 3 cost and not be able to play it, I'd put that right in Arsenal. I'd wait for my, there was a
Hyperdriver turn kind of where you get Hyperdriver
you have to have
out.
enough. So a lot of times you would need the 2 blues in your hand to really make the turn function, where you'd have the 1 blue to play your 2 boosts and then play the thing from Arsenal with the other blue and stuff. So you do have to have like a high number of blues in the boost deck, because it did seem like I said your finishers are all like 3 cost, But I mean, it's a good format. I think having players care about like the armor and I want to say evolving your armor, but that's not you're transforming your armor. You're transforming it. I think that feels really cool, and I think I wasn't very excited about building anything from this set, And Tech Levasan kind of has got me a little intrigued, to be honest with you.
The-
If I were to build anything, it would be him.
Yes, I like it's the fact that they have so many different types of Evos in the game too. There's so many different ways you can build around
Well,
just your
that's
Evos.
going to be the fun part about building him, is finding that fine line of what number is
Is
the
a
right
good-
number and which numbers of each and which ones do I keep in my sideboard, like we said, like, or your
'Cause-
inventory.
Because you can block with them from hand if you need to. So that's where you need to be careful about where you're putting in certain kinds of which ones you like. I feel like some of
But
them that
like
have
you said
the
with
better
scrap,
power,
though, you could almost use that block to your advantage even more
and then
with scrap.
scrap it right back
Yeah,
up to
and
your.
play it from banish. Yeah.
I love that mechanic. I think there's going to be a lot of sneaky stuff going on with that because even if it gets destroyed, right? Like you block out with it over turn or somebody destroys it, you then can scrap it from your discard.
Sure.
Just replay it
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
With fabricate
Well,
being
wait, now,
able to
if
put
you,
the base.
hold on, don't you, oh, right, you would need to re-equip the
Yep,
base.
yep. With a fabricate,
Right,
which
right.
you then probably wouldn't be able to get your singularity off.
I have a feeling, dude, that card, here, I actually want to read that card. Last time we went over that card, it was blanked out.
Yes, we did not get the other end. We missed the spoiler.
I also didn't see that card was a legendary.
yes,
um,
it's a see. I thought it
that's
would
my
be
bad.
because it's a demi hero, and Levia was. A
Right,
legendary.
yeah, right, yeah. So Singularity is a 6 cost. I know we went over this last week, but Legendary Tech
Oh,
Levasan
damn.
specialization. Transform your hero, your weapon, and 4 Evos you have equipped into Tech Levasan, the Necropotent. It enters the arena with life equal to the hero it transformed from. And he transforms into Tech Levasan, the Necropotent. Action 3 resource. Banish 2 cards from your soul. Attack. He attacks for 6. He defends for 6. 3 intellect. Data doll. Got
Yep.
heavy data doll
Yep.
vibes there.
I mean, he has to.
mhm. Whenever also he has
He
whenever
has to.
yeah, I know. Whenever this attacks a hero, they discard a card. Okay. Your mech attack action cards get go again. Okay, so now you don't have to boost anymore.
Nope.
This counts as having 4 Evos equipped. So anything that cares about having 4 Evos equipped, you now have them. So I think, yeah, getting there is going to be the challenge, having the 4, right?
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be as hard, though, as I first thought.
No.
Cards like Meganetic Shockwave and like T-Bone kind of scare me, but those are just against the mirrors. No other really hero is destroying armor, although Guardians have that card.
Buckle.
They do the buckle and then the buckling blow
Yep.
combo where they're
Warriors have
or it's buckle
Shatter.
and then something. They
Yeah.
play buckle, put a -1, and then they play mangle.
Mangle.
I think it's mangle, where
Yeah.
if it's something with a -1, you destroy it. if
Yeah,
it
you
does
destroy
4
it. Yeah.
more. So yeah, I mean, there's ways to like disrupt him for sure. You just get rid of one piece, and you're
Yeah.
kind of screwed, right? Unless you like fabricate your way out of it, like you said.
How much is Mangle? How much is that? A
It's
4
a 4 cost.
for 8.
Yeah, it's
Goes in for
it's a
9
4 for 8.
dominate. I mean, if you have him out, because if he gets hit by that, he's just dead. He's destroyed,
Yeah,
which is scary.
yeah.
But you can also use him to block. So if you utilize him with block, and if you, like I was saying, get another Evo out to block
hold
with.
on. You mean dead? Like he doesn't just go away. He still has life. You can't like destroy the hero. He's no longer a hero, or I mean, he's no longer equipment. He's a hero now. You're transforming the equipment into a hero.
I read what Josh. Did you see what Josh Scott said? He said if it's destroyed, he's dead.
No way. How do you destroy
Because
him?
he's
a
an
hero.
equipment. He's an equipment. He's
Oh,
an Evo
it says
equipment. It
equipment on
says
the bottom?
equipment. No, up
Oh,
top in his
shit.
name.
No,
The Shadow Mechanologist.
Well, no. Like the subtype. He's a Shadow Mech Demi Hero Equipment Evo. It's at the bottom. You're right. He's an equipment.
So if he gets hit by something like that, he's just dead. I feel like that is a big flaw that they might have missed in the design.
That feels like Vincent
But-
against Angels or Vincent against Ward, honestly.
But it's like, you can use him to block.
yeah.
You just have to. Hopefully, they do that like soon enough, and they burn their 3 buckles soon enough. So then they're breaking your Evo. So then you can just scrap it back with the fabricate, putting it back. But
Crazy, dude.
even at that point, see, that's where I think Tech Levasan's going to be super sneaky. Is where he can just scrap it back and get his equipment back like that. Like it's not going to be hard for him to figure that out.
Yeah.
So that's what really caught my eye about Tech Levasan. I know we've been talking about it for a little bit, but
No, I'm excited to open the set. You know, get my cases and
yes,
I'm not sure if I'll really like put enough time to building these decks, I'll kind of probably let the community do it for the most part. I don't have so much time to like build decks like I used to anymore.
No.
And, like actually brainstorm and
I
sit
don't.
down. Dude,
I don't.
Yeah, it's been tough.
Cliff, you got time on your hands.
Yeah, you got to build the decks and let me know what's up, Cliff. Let you do all the legwork.
I have time on my hands. I mean, I can probably do it. You're right.
Hold on, Cliff. We're getting our my lovely lady just walked in with
Thank
our
you very
little baby
much.
girl with some coffee. She gave us a good coffee run here.
Thank you.
Did you get him pumpkin spice? Oh, good. He's a basic bit. That was him that typed
Oh,
that
yeah.
to you.
No, I actually did type that.
Thank you, Shelby.
No, dude, you live by the spice, die by the spice, dude. Are you kidding me?
I'm all
Pumpkin
about
spice.
the-
This is my favorite time of year. Are you
I
kidding me?
heard Roger Bodie and Michael Hamilton talking.
Mhm.
Roger Bodie loves his pumpkin spice, but hates
Does
his
he?
peppermint.
Yeah.
Are you a peppermint lover?
No, I'm not. But yeah, like pumpkin, anything pumpkin is like,
All about it.
dude, like I said, or like you said, I'm a basic bitch. So.
So, all right, Cliff, let's have you gone over the cards at all? Like any of them?
No, but after we wrap this up, I'm probably gonna go get a case.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I was hoping that you at least looked at some that like really
Well-
like stuck out to you.
I definitely have. I've been.
Have you looked at
checking
the
cards out.
Fable? Your dream
Yeah,
crazy
the
powerhouse
Master
Fable prediction from last week is obviously not a thing.
I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, it feels weird that they would, that it's a gem, because it's not.
I'm
it's a
upset
cog.
that it's a gem.
The other ones look like gems.
It definitely. It should have been a location. It should have been a location for Max.
I
Now,
kind
if
of
they
agree
give-
with that.
if
It's
they
wild
give,
how they made a gem.
if they give
We did
props
not
to
hit that at
the
all. We all
news.
said no gems. Like
Yep.
we
Yeah,
can't have that.
We were wrong there, but I mean, it looks cool. You pitch it, put a steam counter on something with crank.
Yeah, but how often are you going to be able to trigger that?
Probably not often, dude. Yeah, I mean, maybe the Tree Frog Dash. I keep saying Tree Frog Dash like I know that's gonna be a deck, but I don't know why Database feels like that kind of deck. The crazy weird Data Doll item thing off the top just feels to fit right in, or just seems to fit right into that strategy. But I feel like she would play it. She's probably got enough items with crank. Josh is having a fucking heyday over here with his coffee cup.
I can't put it anywhere. Got white cabinets everywhere. I'm gonna leave a coffee stain on it. Not ideal. First sip just poured all over me. Not ideal. So after I went through the crack shuffle play with my cards here, I was looking at a lot of them. Like Sprocket Rocket looks awesome. Just for the fact that if you banish an item or an equipment while boosting,
So that it has,
Giving
it has
plus-
boost too, right?
yeah.
So that right there is like a Tekla card, right?
Yeah,
Tekla wants
100%.
that card.
Yes.
He's boosting. He's getting his stuff in his banish if he
zero
wants.
cost too.
That's what
So
I mean.
then he has this 3 resource to be able to play
Yep.
any evos
Yep.
from instant.
Yeah, those are probably you might even think of like maybe the 9 count,
I feel
or
like
at least the reds.
I feel like Fender Bender as well. That's a good mirror card for a mechanologist that wants to block with equipment a lot when they're pumping up with their big battle worn or temper ones. It's a boost, 1 cost. This gets plus X damage, where X is the number of equipment defending it, and it already comes in for 4. So 4 is a good break point.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, I mean that's like the break point of the game, honestly.
it's just when they have their full like Evo Soul memory, when they're at 3 fully loaded.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good card. I feel like this also helps. It's kind of like that what's Pulse Wave Harpoon? Is that the one, Cliff, where if you can't block with equipment from Dynasty?
No, Pulse Wave Harpoon is the one that if you've boosted, say, 3 times, then the opponent has to reveal 3 cards that have 3 block or less from
That's-
their hand, and you
that's
get to
right.
pick one to pull.
What's the card that makes you like your blocks like -1 for the whole turn or half even? You know which one I'm talking about, right?
I know which one you're talking about. Frick. Scramble Pulse.
Yes, that's the card. I feel like that's gonna be an MVP coming back with all the Evos out there blocking and whatnot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
That card's great into the mirror.
I'm excited to see how these big huge tanks are. The War Machine, Terminator tank, Annihilator engine, these Majestics that are all 6 cost, attack for 6, have some,
See, I feel like that's a Teklovasan thing, or if you're playing like the breaker set where all your stuff costs 0 and the effects are kind of nuts, but they don't block. I don't think.
The engines?
No,
The tanks?
the not the engine tanks, the like breaker sets to make your evos for the big attacks. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you can get them out faster
Sure.
and not have to like dilly dally around.
Yeah,
them.
see, I feel like if you're playing like a bunch of like Evo stuff and then these tanks in Teklovasan, like maybe it's just too much.
Yeah.
It just feels like a little bit of a pipe dream. Or maybe you just play one of each of these, or just one, maybe a couple, like 3 copies of just one. Pick one.
Mm-hmm.
The best one you think. I mean, I like the discard card. I mean, it's always.
How was the galvanized mechanic in limited? Did you see
that
it
did not
much?
come up much because I didn't have many items in my you have to banish an item, right? Or am I thinking of something else?
You may destroy an item.
Okay.
If you do this, this gets +2.
Yeah,
defense.
when you block, right, you get +2.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not do that, I don't think, one time. But again, I only had the 2 items in my deck. So I had Boom Grenade and Red Boom Grenade and Red Hyperdriver. So, yeah, was not able to galvanize. I think it's a sweet ability. I think, getting around the fact that your items don't block is sweet. And you can kind of cash in an item maybe that doesn't have a Steam counter on it that's about to be destroyed anyways the next turn for value. That's awesome.
What about like dissolving shield? Did you see many of those? Did you see anybody blocking out a lot in limited, or was everybody just going all gas?
No, I think I blocked with more than 2 cards one time.
Did you use any of like firewall? Did you
No.
use any of that?
No.
No blocks.
No, dude, I looked at those cards as just kind of dead cards. I don't know. I don't know. I still don't really believe in a pseudo Sink Below that doesn't really do what Sink Below does.
Yep.
Right? I don't know. Those blocks are weird, man. They get around Overpower.
They do because
They get around some other
they're
stuff
a block,
too. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you can play. It's not an action. Do you guys think that the overpower mechanic's a better mechanic than dominate? Because you've played like combustible courier, right? Or what's the one where if it hits, it gains dominate? Your next one gains dominate.
That's Pedal to the Metal, or Pedal to the Metal is the 2-cost one.
Isn't
What's
the one
other
where he's like smoking a
High Speed
cig?
Impact.
The one he's smoking a cig gives dominate, I thought, or something.
Yeah, I thought there was a different one. Overloop? Is that Overloop?
No. Yeah, he might be smoking a cig in that one. Is he?
I think it is, but
Yo,
I'm pretty sure he is.
Not to sidebar the fucking discussion, but there was a card. I forgot the card. I wish I would have remembered. No, not that one. But there was a card where there was like a pirate punching like this mech person. Yeah, dude. Straight up mech pirate looking guy. No, that's not it. Although, hey. Okay,
Underloop.
why does the guy on Underloop have an eye patch?
There's an Overloop.
We're getting some pirate vibes, dude.
No, I want a pirate.
Well, I think
really
they're slowly because
That'd be so
Sunken
badass if
Treasure.
we got
Sunken
a
Treasure was like a pirate theme
Dude.
looking thing. This pirate in a weird mech
Dude,
world.
I
Is that it?
would
That's it.
Full tilt?
That's it.
legitimately know.
Okay, guys, our listeners, go look up the card Full Tilt. YouTube, Ben, go look it up and tell me that guy who's punching the dude is not a pirate.
100% is. I mean,
He's like a futuristic pirate, but he's still a pirate.
He almost looks like a. Oh, he's got a coat. He's a Bravo guy.
He's got a tie too. You see his tie.
A mechanologist guardian mix.
I hope they don't start mixing classes, man. The Emperor was cool, like experiment, but I think the second that they start mixing classes is the second the game starts to die.
I feel like you can really only limit it to talents.
There's
Like, that's the most you can do.
so much design you can do with this game, and if they were to mix talents, that just means they ran out of ideas.
Yep.
I think.
That's true.
I hope they never go down that route. Maybe sometimes they'll sprinkle in a weird thing like the Emperor, and they'll keep it blitz limited, or
Well, they have to
Or-
be the weird niche hero that has like a really hard line of text in its text box for hero ability.
I guess like if they were to do that, they would have to like. I'm sure there's probably a way that they can mix classes and balance it, or make it a sort of a drawback. Maybe you can have a certain number of them in there, or like.
I feel like for testing, you'd have to have 2 like lower powered heroes.
I don't even like talking about this. It makes me uncomfortable, dude. I don't like the mixing classes is just weird.
No, I think
I
they
don't
did.
think they should ever
I
do
think
it.
they did it right with this set though, with Bright Lights, where you have like still a mechanologist, but like there's a different archetype inside of the class
Yeah.
that you can build because you're not mixing classes.
Yeah,
It's
I was
just
kind of
an
worried about that.
archetype.
Like I said before, I was worried that they, all mech. It's just kind of
Weird.
it just. It's the first time we've seen it, so
That's true.
It's obviously going to kind of throw us off through a loop. But they all do have their own feeling, or they have their own archetype. You really do feel like they're all playing it a little bit differently.
Absolutely, and that's what. Sorry, almost spilled my coffee again.
Yeah, it's okay. You're just having a heyday here.
Absolutely, and that's what I kind of liked about this set. I was very skeptical at first. I didn't know how I'd feel about it, just because I do like the limited. I do play a lot better in limited, honestly. Just because deck building on the spot's way better.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I've always enjoyed it too.
what were you about to say, Cliff? I heard you yelling.
Have you guys seen the Hyper Scrapper?
Hyper Scrapper? Is that the double scrap
Yeah.
card?
No, Single X.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that one. That one's good.
Here, you should read the
You
card.
should read it though.
Alrighty, for the listeners, if I can get off of this card and go back and read that other one. Haha, there we go. I win. Alright, Hyper Scrapper. It is a 3-block, 2-power attack that is a blue pitch majestic, so we only get blue. Has a X resource cost. As an additional cost to play this, banish X cards from your graveyard. When this attacks, it gets plus X. If 3 or more hyperdrivers are banished to play this, it gains 6 resource and it gains go again.
That's crazy.
Hmm.
So you just need all the hyperdrivers
That's
to break that card.
nuts.
Hmm.
That's nuts.
I mean, the ceiling on it is.
Yeah. Pretty nut. How often are you going to be able to truly do that though?
Right. You really have to be playing hyperdrivers and kind of slowing it down, because the more you boost, you're taking them. You can't save them and bank them up, right?
No,
You have to
yeah.
like play them
It almost has to be like lined up.
perfectly.
Yeah, like second cycle lined up almost, and that's tough. I will say though, my favorite card in the set is Gas Guzzler. Just the art.
Yeah.
Why couldn't that be Teklovas?
Some really sweet art, and they kind of nailed it again. I was a little worried again with that, how a lot of it is just pink and blue hues, like the
True.
neon kind of mechy stuff. But when you really look and you kind of like take a second and enjoy each card art, like there's a lot to look at, and they did a great job again. They just nail it out of the park with the art.
And they have a lot of different style. They have different borders for different things. Like the galvanized border looks different than any of like the boost borders. I definitely feel like they kind of like correlated. This is my thought on it. They kind of correlated the colors of the cards with the colors of the Evos that you kind of want to be playing. So it's like these cards might be a little bit better with
Yeah.
this Evo set, like the Breaker set, compared to like Evo Soul Memory, where you're wanting your big attacks, where you're just attacking once, trying to get your
I have
Evos
an
out.
explanation on that. Let
Okay.
me see if I can find it. Because there is something that correlates with the color of the border on the card. It correlates to if it's a boost, a scrap, or a crank card.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you mean the border.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I think
yeah.
the blue is scrap, the red is boost, and
Sure.
the other color is crank. But
Yeah.
the borders correlate to like the mechanism the card plays into.
What's cool, I one thing I noticed is like you kind of have like the fancy kind of upper class mechs in some of the art, and then you kind of have like the pits type of mechs.
That's the Gas Guzzler.
and also like a pirate every once in a while.
That's true.
But,
mean,
yeah, Gas Guzzler is cool.
it's
I'm
just
looking at
like
the art right now.
the art in the set actually blew me away. I was baffled. The foiling on some of the cards too. When I was watching some of the box breaks,
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on the
Beautiful.
cases and opening
beautiful.
the set. But overall, I think it was our pre-release was a success. We had 14 players. We had some players from the cities come out, which is always awesome. Shout out to those guys for making the trip. Yeah, I was like I said, kind of pleasantly surprised. I was a little worried going into it. Came out of it, had fun. I'm now actually thinking about maybe making a mech deck.
Yes.
I know.
Brought you to the dark side. Legit the dark side if you go Tekla Vossen.
If I were to build one, it would be him. So
What if you could play shadow cards in him?
it'd be cool. I mean, his suit is a shadow.
I know.
Shadow mech.
I know. It would be wild if
They
you
were
could.
they were just like drip feeding us this,
I know.
like just teasing us with this shadow mech card that
They
is
brought
not
it.
a shadow mech.
They brought it. I mean, they
There's
brought
a shadow
it.
mech in the game.
They definitely brought it. Well, I'm very excited to get my hands on more bright lights and for the draft next weekend. That
Yep.
should be super fun. I'm excited to do a draft in it.
Yep.
The sealed looks fun, even though I didn't get to play it. But drafting is
always
like,
much better than
yeah,
sealed.
so much more fun.
Next week we'll be talking about, I think, a little bit. We'll probably start going over ProQuest a little more. We'll start to kind of nail down, because I know ProQuest season starts next October 20 something.
Yeah, I think so.
19th, maybe
Yeah.
is the first day. So yeah, our next few episodes will be probably a little bit geared more towards like the competitive scene in the meta and what's going on there. Obviously we'll probably talk some more about Bright Lights and what we've got building, and we'll get to our Arcane Rising Wraith review next month as well.
Yes.
That'll be a great time.
On that note, I'm super excited to read the lore about Tekla Vossen.
Yeah,
And see if
you
they
gotta go read the Max.
I read
Did
some
you?
of it. I read some of
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yes.
The one that I talked
Max
about
is
last
good.
week.
Yep. They dropped another story behind that one too.
Cool. I'll have to read that because I have not read the second one.
But I'm excited to see what they do with Tekla Vossen in
Yeah.
the story. Being a shadow demi-hero like
Yeah.
that, like please bring that in. That'd be so
Yeah.
cool. And the voice actor they used for that.
Was it good?
Oh, did you see the reveal video?
Yeah. I didn't like, the voice wasn't like, didn't stick out to me or anything.
Oh, really?
I mean,
When
did
he-
it?
Yeah. For me, it did. It sounded so badass. I was
it?
like, let's go, Alice.
Good. Good.
It was good. Props to, he was on a podcast that I listened to not too long ago.
Does he do all the lore videos?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does like all
So
the
that's where I
release,
recognize-
release videos
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cliff, do you have any more like last kind of final thoughts on the episode, or just Bright Lights in general before we get to our single listener question?
Not particularly, other than next weekend. I should.
Oh,
have
that's
more
gonna
to
be
go off
exciting.
of, 'cause like I said, I'm gonna be picking up a case either today or tomorrow.
Hell yeah. And you'll be here, so
So,
you'll be able to
I'm-
be in studio.
I'm hoping so. Yes.
You're not going to leave Sunday morning before
We'll
we
see-
record, you
we'll-
madman.
We'll see how Saturday night goes. That's the big thing. Saturday
Dude,
night
there's
could be
no
a
chance
really
you're going
rough
to be in
Sunday
town
morning.
and we're not recording in studio.
Yeah, no.
You are freaking crazy.
We'll record.
We'll
every-
come kidnap you. We'll come
I'm gonna be, I'm
dump
gonna
cold
be a
water on your
zombie
face.
Sunday. You don't understand.
Do I have to come drag you out of bed like I did one time for an RTN?
Probably. You might
I
have
remember
to.
that. I remember that. He was so pissed. Just grouchy Cliff all day.
Oh, but I mean, he ended up bubbling.
Yeah.
that night.
No, towards the end, you weren't really grouchy. Yeah.
he was.
No, it was fun. It was funny because I sat down at the table at the RTN and like everyone around was kind of talking, and the guy across from me goes, "So, how you doing, man?" And I look up and I go, "I am so fucking hungover."
Hey, though, you got to think, if you weren't hungover, dude, I mean, not to make it worse for you, but imagine what you could have done. You placed ninth being all shitty and fucking shit-faced the night before. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I only bubbled out because I wasn't at 100%.
Exactly.
Y'all don't even know
Exactly,
my
dude.
power.
Exactly.
Well, shout out to Cortez. Cortez is a really good player. He just got out of the game. Tough.
I know.
It's sad,
Makes
but
me sad.
I'll miss him. Love you, Cortez, if you listen and ever. But you had that game pretty close, and then I watched you block with your arcane barrier, or you used it. your Visortronic.
I used
And he was running
Visortronic to
Rosetta, and I'm
try to
just sitting there
quench
behind you,
damage.
shaking my head. I'm like, "What is he doing?" I was like, "What are you
Yeah,
doing, losing your
that was
arcane?"
that was a mistake.
And then the Rosetta
But
got you
it's what
2
it
turns
is.
later.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Yep.
you played fairly well, so you better get your ass here, and I want to see your mech
Yeah,
play.
it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. All right, let's get to our single listener question. Comes from Kellen from our shop. He says, "What classes are good candidates for more bright lights style one class draft sets?"
This is a good question. I was trying
He
to.
also,
I was
so it's
trying
kind
to
of a
think about
two-parter.
it.
He also says thoughts on one of these for a new class. So I actually want to answer it both because I do think I have an answer for one of our existing classes and then a new class as well.
I think we
I
should break
think-
it down. Yeah.
I think if they did an all arcane set and gave us all wizards, new and unique ways to play wizard, maybe even you have physical attacks that deal arcane on hits, and you make them have more health where they're actually playing attack actions, but they have a little bit of, kind of feeling maybe a little bit more like a rune blade, honestly. But
Yep.
I think an all wizard set would be insane. I don't know how good that would be for like new players.
That's
I actually think it would be terrible for new players.
Yeah.
but
it would
trying to
bring a lot of
explain to them, like-
flavor to the game.
Yeah.
You know how much flavor that would bring with all these wizards running around
I
now?
would love that. Like fucking 4 wizard, or even just the 3 new wizard heroes to choose from in a like sealed format. Like that'd be wild.
See, it'd be, imagine if they had like more like staffs that were better.
No, I know the staffs all suck, dude.
If they ran 3 staffs but not specialize them like they did in this set where Dash has hers and like
Waning
Max
Moon is
has-
good though.
It
Waning Moon
is.
is really strong.
Would you reprint Waning Moon in that set, or would you run all different staffs?
Yeah, you probably gotta give them new staffs, right? You
You-
gotta
you
make some new
could-
stuff. Like,
I mean, think about it. A wizard could honestly have a book.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many. Like, they could make wizards in a way that they just haven't yet. They can make them attack with
It'd be
actions,
wild.
Instead of dealing damage through actions.
It'd
you
be
know?
chaotic though. Everybody's like, "Oh, response."
No, I think I think the vitriol online that would be attached to an all wizard set
True.
would be nuts,
True.
dude. People would fucking lose their minds.
what?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that answer.
What do you think though?
I was kind of thinking about it. Obviously, I feel like warrior would be fun.
How did I know?
But I wanted
that
to
would be
give
good.
I want to give different flavor. I honestly I don't want to be biased with LSS saying rune blades are fun and like building 3 different types of rune blades but make them equal. Would be tough because how would you do their abilities? I mean,
Yeah.
half of them go around rune chance.
You're still dealing with like the mixed damage and the arcane and the physical, so it
True.
would just be like another, like problem or another thing people for people to complain about.
True.
Essentially.
I mean, ninja kind of appealed to me too. Like having an all ninja set.
That would be cool.
I think that one would be
I feel
fun.
like the limited format for that would be sweet.
Yes.
Super go wide, little
Yeah.
hits, little,
That it just shows. I mean, even do a little bit more reaction. You could do
Sure.
one ninja relies on more
big-
reaction.
Like big, Bo Raicho from Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
like big,
Yes.
barf, fat ninja,
Barf
with
as
a
an action
big
makes
heavy
it.
defensive ninja somehow, but he's a, big tank of a man. Would be nuts. Would not want to fight that guy.
I would love that. I would love to see that. But yeah, I think final answer ninjas.
Nice. What about you, Cliff? If they had to do it again, what do you think? What class?
I like the ninja answer. It'd be interesting to see what came of it.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe brute too. All
Brute.
brutes would work well because you're just smashing each other's face, and it's just like it would be like a
It'd be absolute chaos.
yeah, it'd be cool.
See, I think Guardian would be interesting too, but then it's just you'd have to extend time.
He also so the second part of the question was thoughts on one of these for a new class. My answer.
I know what you're gonna say.
I don't think you do. I think it would be cool to have like all necros, all necromancers, and you fucking just everyone's summoning their demons, summoning their
Yes.
succubus, summoning their little I think that would be incredible.
That would be very fun. I think you just took the words out of my mouth with that one. I
To
thought
be-
you were gonna say Alchemist, to be honest.
It
whole
was between
set
those two.
built
It was
around-
between those two. Yeah,
that's what I
potions.
thought.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
potions and mixing them. Dude, that would be actually. You might be. Yeah.
A whole pirate set would be pretty cool too.
How do you? Well, okay, but here's. I don't know if we've talked about this. I think we talked about this off pod, honestly. How do you make a pirate class? Like, what does the class pirate do? Do you know what I mean? Like warriors care about weapons, guardians are defensive, wizards deal arcane, pirates do what? Ninjas go wide.
It would have to be something similar to assassins, I think.
Right, like hard to block, maybe tricky. They attack, react. They
Yes,
steal.
attack,
Maybe they
react.
can like steal your deck. Like they can steal attacks from your deck.
I feel like they would deal with like gold tokens,
yeah,
like
for
make
sure,
them deal
for
with
sure.
like
They
cash-ins
would definitely
even and
like
stuff
have
like
gold
that.
related
And
theme. But
they-
I do think that you'd have to like do some sort of theft mechanic where
You
they're
would.
stealing something of yours.
You
or
would.
maybe
Well,
a piece of
the new
armor
set
even or something.
items, a piece of armor, you can steal armor.
I couldn't imagine though, like playing that card in like a
Imagine-
world's tournament, and you go over and take someone's PCG 10 fucking cold foil like tunic. I'll steal that for me. You know what I mean? I don't know if a theft mechanic would work
That'd be
well
wild.
in stealing people's
But
armor.
no, that'd be so cool. Like just dealing with like, I mean, just having a pirate hat and having like,
Oh, yeah. We already have the chest.
a peg leg for
But
the
it's a
legs
ranger
or something that has like a dagger at the bottom. That you can kick up. I don't know, dude.
Won't he just get stuck when he tries to walk on his ship because the dagger will just stab in
you
the
could do,
wood?
you could do it like Assassin's Creed thing with like a mechanism in it or something. The hell if I know, man. But
I could just imagine him getting out of bed.
Call
and,
it stump. Call it stump.
Trying to walk. He's like, fuck. He gets stuck.
But no, that'd be pretty cool. I think they'd have to deal with reactions. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well, hopefully we answered that question to the fullest, Kel.
Cliff, what do you think though for the new one?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sorry, Cliff. Any ideas for a class that we
Okay.
haven't seen?
I've thought about this quite a bit. Going off the lore, the one that I want to see released the most is the Necromancer, because I think that aesthetic is really cool. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I can't wait till we get it. It's going to be a big thing. I bet you we'll get it soon. I think we'll get it next year. I think like Brutes are coming. And then I do think with the announcement of them giving us more limited and more just heroes in general, having everyone rotate faster, that just means that I think they're designing more heroes than they.
This is gonna help
Did in the past.
This is gonna help rotate heroes into the game. So we're gonna have a lot more options.
I think
And
we're gonna get a four hero draft set again.
And-
I do,
well,
like we did back, like with the first couple sets.
I think we will. I heard Tommy Fresh bring up this about like have multiple weapons in a set.
Yeah, rather than
not
the one
just like-
token
yeah,
that
not
everyone
just
gets.
one.
That's always kind of been like a
I mean, it's a majestic weapon half the time. Like if you get it, you get it.
yeah.
Luminaris.
That's true. That's
in
true. Yeah.
Monarch draft. You are cooking if you got that thing. Let me tell you, I had 5 crack baubles in my deck, and I went 2-1.
You were fine.
I was
You were like,
okay.
I'll pitch
alright?
these. These are
Yeah,
yellow. I don't
it
care.
Works.
Yeah, dude.
It works.
These are cracked.
Yeah, they work cracked. Pun intended, for sure.
Oh shit.
But no, hopefully we answered that for you, Kellen. I would be excited to see a new set
Yeah.
with new heroes. That'd be a lot of flavor to bring in a new class that way. Have
Yeah.
like a whole set built around them.
Not to look past like the set we have. We just got this new set and stuff, but I do still think that we need something that's really gonna like shake things up. And I
Yes.
think the way you do that is you give us a draftable, very well fleshed out, very well designed and tested set, and you make 4 brand new classes.
That'd be wild.
No, not talented classes of old. I'm talking a Necro, an Alchemist. You give us
Would you
what
make
else?
the Necro Shadow?
No.
You just
I'm
have
talking.
it be
I'm
its
talking
own,
new
like-
classes,
like
dude.
Welcome to Wraith, like
Yes.
classic
Maybe
Flesh
even
and
like
Blood.
fucking a bard. Like all this
Hey,
bard
yeah.
stuff, that they've been kind of give us like a bard that's actually playable.
Like
maybe
the Dungeons and Dragons bard.
he
guy.
could be like
was
he could be like a
badass.
defensive, like you sing songs to like lull your opponents or like you. Thematically, it's kind of weird in a fighting
is.
game.
It is.
But I'm just trying to think of like 4 new classes that they could give us in a draftable set that would be like.
Bards are kind of sneaky though. I mean, like they kind of do things.
Yeah.
Like sneak. I don't know if you've ever watched the Dungeons and Dragons
I have
movie.
not.
Watch it. It's actually pretty good.
I know. I've heard actually a lot of good things. My father-in-law, he's like texting me. He's like, "Oh, I thought about you."
The Dungeons
I'm
and
like, "Oh,
Dragons
you calling me a
movie was
fucking
fun.
nerd? You thought about me when you watched it?"
Hey, I say it all the time.
Nah,
but
dude,
I mean,
I claim that title very proudly.
I do too.
It was so weird, like back in the day. Not to go on a tangent here right before the episode ends, but do you guys remember like growing up, like being a nerd was like so uncool. Like liking nerdy things was not like viewed as. I guess I'm like maybe a half a generation older than you guys, so like it was.
It might have been. I mean, our school, like, yeah, we had like the nerds, but we all got along. It's not like we ever, like,
right. I just mean like maybe just society wise, like
True.
like if you liked fucking board games, like
People
people
thought
would
you
just
were
look
just-
down on
yeah,
you, like oh
yeah.
you're a weirdo or something. And
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays like it's so hip to be a nerd.
Yeah.
And to like
It is.
like mini games and like board games and like video games and like it's
fun.
it's like the
It's the thing now.
coin is flipped and we're on the no it's great. I love it.
I love it.
As a closeted nerd my whole life, like I don't have to I can scream from the rooftop about my nerdiness.
I'm a nerd.
It's like my daughter calls me a nerd. And like I'm like, you think that hurts? That don't hurt
proud of
anymore.
that.
Yeah, I'm proud now. Yeah.
I don't care about that. People call me nerds all the time. and I'm- Cool.
All right,
Call it my
boys.
nerd room.
Well, you guys want to get out of here?
Yeah, let's get out
Been
of
at it
here.
for a while, yeah.
Thank you for joining us on episode 9 of Big Deck Energy. It was cool that we got Bailey in studio for a little bit.
Yeah.
We were glad to get all of us here. Hopefully, Cliff will be here next week and potentially get another guy on the pod.
Bailey doesn't work next week either, so he'll be in studio as
Yes,
well. We'll be
he'll
all 4 of us.
Yep. So it'll be good. We could potentially get some good content out for you guys and cover our draft
Hell yeah.
and let you know how the draft goes for Bright Lights. But
Should be a good old time.
join the Discord. Should be in the bio of the description of the episode. Hop in. We always talk about questions if you have any, and we love to answer them for you. But as always, thank you for joining and have a good one. Peace.
See ya.
Peace out.